All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to chapter 61 of LegionsCast. We're going to have a fun time today. I'll tell you what, we've got a fun little exercise that we're going to do. We're going to do some ranking things. We're not doing a tier show, but we're doing something, in that vein, a little bit different. We're shaking it up. We're keeping it new. We're keeping it fresh. That's what LegionsCast does. So, I can't wait to get started. But before I do, I have to talk about us, apparently. This is Emil's wish that I introduce us. And so
people don't know us.
People know us. But
not everyone knows. So you can't count like that. You can't say, yeah, everyone knows. No, that's not how it works. That's not how you get new friends.
I kind of think this is lame, but I'm also having a little bit of fun with it. So, I'm going to talk about Emil. I would love to introduce Emil Wickman from Sweden. He is a connoisseur of trap jaws, bald heads, salty candy, all things that Emil loves. But most importantly, Emil is a huge Mythic Legions fan, Cosmic Legions fan. He does all kinds of customizes, best known for his tribute customs, which he can charge only prices that only he can charge. No one else can do that. He sells out before he even gets to Legions Con.
Okay, this is not the kind of presentation I was thinking. This is.
You asked for it, buddy. You wanted me to do it. You're getting it. All right?
All right.
The most humble of guys I've ever met. He is the best at being humble. And he'll let you know. Moving on to Len LaGuardia. Len LaGuardia is, I'll tell you what, he is usually bandanaed, but he has a great head of hair, as we all can see.
It's true. Hey,
Steve. But, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm just talking to people in the chat. That's what I do.
Are you? Len's a host, but he kind of slips into that producer kind of role. He takes care of things for us. Like my mother, he takes care of me. He always warms up my bottle and checks it on his wrist to make sure the milk's not too hot.
Exactly. I love it. I love taking care of you guys.
Mama Len?
Yes.
Is that you, Mama Len?
Len is the Wolf King, and now I'll get to myself, and I'll knock this out really quick. I am the Lord Stephen Bishotti. I like to paint. I love Legions. I like podcasts. That's about all there is to me.
There's so much more. But okay.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Now that we got that arduous thing, I'm very excited to welcome. I don't even want to call him a guest because I'm going to welcome former host of LegionsCast, returning the great one, the best LBC customizer that's out there, Jeremy Gerard. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing wonderful, guys.
Wow!
He
has returned.
Dun, dun,
I was raising the roof there.
You are.
I'm wonderful, guys. Thank you for having me.
Jeremy, I got to say, I've been wanting to tell you this for a long time. I just want to thank you for the time that you spent on LegionsCast, keeping the show alive until we morphed into what we are now.
Yeah, I wasn't one of the original hosts, but I feel like I played a critical role where your original co-host bailed on you and you needed someone to throw you that life preserver. I was there for you, Stephen, and
you were.
I was happy. It wasn't something I could do for a long time, but you didn't need me to do it for a long time. You needed it just for that short period, and I'm happy I was there for you.
There was quite a few episodes we did together, though. I mean, it wasn't. It was a shorter time, but it wasn't super short. It was. It was
impactful. Oh, it was impactful. I mean, it was a torrid affair. It was. I mean, it didn't last long, but it was hot while it lasted.
Oh, yeah, that's. My wife says one of those things about me usually.
Oh, I don't have to. I can't give warnings because we're not on Facebook anymore. Anything goes.
That's right. That's right. We are. Yeah. Well, we're still going to keep it kind of PG.
Yeah.
So, I guess, Jeremy, you did a great show last night. You explained the mystery boxes. That's all going well.
Yeah.
You said, right?
Yeah, it's cool to see
so-
people are getting their hauls, posting videos of their polls. It's definitely cool to see.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
seem really happy with what they're getting.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that's looking for one specific figure, when they don't pull that figure, there's going to be some disappointment. But it's you were looking for one specific figure amongst all the possibilities. But for the most part, people seem to be like, this isn't the figure I wanted, but it's still a great figure, and I'm happy with it. Which I can't ask for anything more than that.
If I got into this hobby today, or if a friend of mine got into this hobby today, I would say buy multiple of these.
Oh yeah,
Go
this
in,
is
it's easy peasy choice.
Oh yeah, a number of people have said this. If you're new to the line, especially if you're in the US and you can take advantage of the flat rate shipping, this is an amazing sale.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and you might know. If not, I bet you Diego knows if he's within earshot.
He's not, but go ahead.
Oh, has there been anybody, to your knowledge, that has bought enough boxes to get every single figure?
Good question.
Yet.
No. There have been people that bought enough boxes that we could have given them every single figure, but that wasn't the goal. We said that we're going to do our best not to duplicate any of the figures. There were 14 figures that were reissued. So if you ordered 14 or less, we genuinely probably didn't have to duplicate any figures. But once you get above that 14, all bets are off. If you ordered 36, you're not going to get all 36 of the chase figures. We just didn't have enough to be able to do that.
Interesting. I just want to know if there's somebody out there that was living the dream.
I don't think anybody got all of them. And I know for a fact because I know some of the biggest orders we received, and they're going to get a ton of stuff, but they're going to have to get duplicates just based on the amount they got. And it's also like some of the chase figures, there were some chase figures that we had 4 of. So,
oh, wow.
Wow. Only 4?
Yeah, I think that was the lowest amount. And there was only a couple that were that low, but there were a lot of figures that were under 24 because all of the, like, I call them like super chases, basically the warehouse finds, they were all a case or less. So as soon as you use 24 of them, it doesn't matter if someone places an order that's 100 mystery boxes, you don't have some of those figures to put in there.
Perfect. All right. Cool. I think that's enough for...
Just so you know, Steve, I'm being told that we are actually on the Cabal. So maybe because we set this up before the change, it's getting through. But we are broadcasting.
Could be the case.
Well, hello, Cabal. How are you?
I'm not seeing comments from them in the comment section because it lets us know where they're coming from. But apparently we are broadcasting in there. So that's interesting. So keep it PG, fellas.
Yeah, we always. So, Len, you want to say hi to the chat? You did that last time and did something, that's very welcoming.
Sure, I'll
Maybe
run
we
through.
should do that. Yeah.
First one here, David Williams. Hey, buddy.
Awesome.
Brad
Congrats.
Johnson, the first 58. Mervina 1976, who's already laying down some funny one-liners. Dakin Tool, Big Greg, Kentpool Collects, Chris Ferrone, Curtis is here, Brad Johnson, Doug Tupper, Rob Zamora, Jeff Evans 24, Jevons 24, Zombie Hotep. I don't know who you are, Zombie. That's a new name. That's interesting. Like Bubba. And we got, I don't know if I said Mike Carter, Jesse Arnold, Matt Stein just popped in. Mark Rivera just popped in. Hank. And this guy. 1-6 shooter.
Hey,
Hello, Daddy.
1-6.
You sounded just like him. And Santos. Pops is here.
Nice. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I think it's time we get down to having some fun.
Let's
Fun.
do it.
Emil, show us what you got going on.
So the thing is, for today, we're not gonna do a tier ranking. You know, some love it, some hate it. Doesn't matter. We love it. Okay. But today we're gonna do something else with the Mythic Mysteries figures. Okay. We're gonna have a battle, an all-out battle among these 36 figures, and there will only be one remaining in the end. The best. Whatever if it's a figure that we love more or have better parts or whatever, the best one will rule, okay? And we're gonna do it like this. I'll show you. Like this. It's gonna be like a bracket tournament, which means that there are, two figures are gonna face off, and the winner goes, moves on to the next round, etc., 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 until there is one in the final and the one winner. The thing is, you can only have 32 figures or characters in a bracket fight, so we have to do a small fight to remove 4 before we go into the big 32 bracket fight. So this would be a good way to warm up. We have randomly picked out 8 characters. I'll show you. This is how it's gonna look. So the first fight will be between Freya and Torgun. And while we are talking and thinking which one we prefer, everyone in the chat, you can write W or D in the chat, and that will count as your vote for that character.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Do the people voting have any impact on what actually happens, or is it just the decision of us 4?
No. Everyone has. We don't
Yeah.
have more power than the people in the chat. So
We
it's
don't?
everyone who are here.
Why?
We're on camera. We should have all the power.
I
thought
know.
we usually had a little more
Is
weight
that how
to
they do
ours.
things in Sweden? That is
That's how
very...
we try to do things. Well, we have some government decisions that we're not going to talk about right
think
now,
we could-
but we try to do it like this. So it's
Okay. Okay.
yeah, maybe we'll say
Well,
this
it's
is
your
a
show.
Swedish fight. We'll vote who we think will win this fight.
How about this? I'm gonna throw a curveball at it. I know it's probably a bad time to do that, but
Problem is.
what if all 4 of us are unanimous? Do we overrule the chat? How about that?
I see Jeremy's nodding,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so guys, both you, Jeremy, and you, Steven, are big fans of the line, of course, but you also run shows. You are kind of used to being in charge. You're used to having the power. And having too much power can corrupt you. And I love both of you. You are wonderful, beautiful butterfly creatures, and I don't want you to be corrupted.
Spoken
So, no.
like someone who doesn't have a lot of power.
That's like me.
When you have the power, you realize that it's wonderful.
Yes. And I'm envious of you.
So it sounds like Steven and I both think that we should be able to outvote the audience.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
don't think that. What does Len think? Should he be the
He's
tiebreaker?
with me. He's always with me because he's the one who took me up from.
He's always with you, but
Yes.
I'm not usually on.
But you're
I
not.
am. I will say this just to kill this right away because we got a show to do. I am all about He-Man. I have the power. It's with us. Sorry, Emil. We're gonna have the final decisions. I'm
Okay.
hoisting my power sword.
Before
I'm shooting my cat. We're
That's
doing
how
it.
America does it.
America.
Okay, I've been there. I'm trying to learn to become Merca. But I'm not there. But I'm doing my best to cope. But there might be someone in the chat that's from Europe. It may
Here,
feel
look.
more
I mean,
comfortable.
so Anthony's saying in the event of a tie, the fan vote wins.
No.
I mean, that could work.
Spoken like someone that's in the chat and not on camera.
Right. Okay.
So, my dear friends, Jeremy, which one would you think is the winner of Freya and Torgen?
Freya would win.
Why?
So are we talking about the actual characters or the toys themselves? Because as the actual characters, she's a Valkyrie. Okay, they don't die. Valkyries, if you actually kill them, they come back. They are basically immortal warriors going up against a dwarf with a dirty nose. This is Freya all day. This is probably the easiest of the battles that we're going to see here. Freya wipes up the floor with Torvald.
So would you say that you like? Okay, Len.
I have a question because Mr. Gerard pops in and totally blows out anything I was thinking. Is this a battle like they're fighting, or is this a popularity contest for the figure?
No, this is a battle like. Go ahead, Emil. You tell us. We'll change it if we
We
don't
have
like
our
it.
first vote. Fans, tell us in the chat what you want it to be.
Exactly. The chance can be part of this. So, I mean, you could see that who is being the strongest one, but you can also see what character are fans wanting to get in their Mythic Mystery box the most.
Oh.
Who is the most popular one to get? You know?
Oh, well, that is also Freya because more there. You would think it's Torvald because the dwarf fans are loud and obnoxious, and they'll tell you Torvald is the one everybody wants, but it's actually not true.
Got it. Almost sounds like a studio man and not a fan man, but I hear you. It's okay. You can be both.
Guys, I'm feisty tonight.
Good.
I love that. I love that. And we shall see. This is the first one, so we're getting
The chat is split too. They don't. It seems like some people are saying popularity of figure, and a lot just want to see a straight up battle.
Well, they can still vote in whatever they want. You know, we don't have any blood effects and stuff like this. This is a PG show. Steven, which one do you prefer of these two? And I said prefer, so I didn't put anything. Is it because of this beautiful or feisty? Merca is both, right? It's both being powerful and beautiful.
It is.
Well, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Just like me.
Barbie and He-Man. That's okay, got it.
I'm gonna go with Torvald.
Wait,
Torvald,
you're supposed to tell me if you want a battle or if it's for popularity.
both.
You can't do both.
He can do both, actually.
Well, I would want Torvald in my box if I was going to do over her, and I think that he could win in a fight. I know Jeremy says that she can't be killed, but I think they just call her a Valkyrie to build up her confidence. I'm not sure she really is one.
This is already off the rails.
No,
we didn't even get
it's
to the
not.
bracket yet.
I mean,
Are
are we going to acknowledge? Are we going to acknowledge Steven's obvious bias in this instance?
No, we just ignore that. You know
Because
how.
I love
Did you forget?
No, I know it's there. I'm just
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Mohawks. Everybody knows that.
And bare-chested men. Why do you guys think I'm not wearing a shirt when I'm in Michigan? You're in Steven's house. Okay, anyway. No,
So we're split. Len?
Len.
I'm split too because I like Torvald in my box, but I think Freya wipes the floor with him because she's like a goddess.
That's the thing. This is supposed to be something that we struggle with. It's not supposed to be easy. We want them all, but
We
now
don't
you
have all night,
to
buddy.
pick. No, so
Jeremy's
pick
a
one.
busy man. He can't be here till midnight.
I would not. I didn't think I would say this, but I'm going with Freya. But I don't know. I'm divided on that. Maybe I just want to make the guest feel comfortable as well. You know. I mean, the ex-host.
I haven't even been looking at the comments because I still haven't gone over the parameters.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Len.
Okay.
Have you not counted the votes yet?
No, because I thought we were still fighting about the parameters of what's
People
going
have been
on.
voting for fun. That's why we're talking. Everyone, please, you have 1 minute to put a vote on
Wait,
this.
no, I'll go back.
Okay.
I have the power to go back in time.
guys, I will say that if I was voting on the figures themselves and not the actual characters in a real battle, I would still pick Freya, actually.
Got it.
Let's do this in the spirit of the box. Let's vote on the thing of which one do you want in your box.
Sure. Freya.
And
I'm still saying Torvald. Because I have two Freyas. I actually have three Freyas.
And this is what we got from Hedgehog. Can you do it as a poll? You probably can. We're not going to do it because we don't know yet. In the future, we might do it, but we have a lot of polls to do, so we will have to figure it out. Help is, appreciated.
So with that being said, Len, oh sorry.
No,
I
would
would.
that be-
All right, then I'm going to go with Freya also for my vote, and the audience is split 5-5.
So that's a Freya.
Next,
3 Freyas to my Torgan, right?
Okay. Next is Queen Urxa versus the Vampire Knight.
Jeremy, what do you want in your box?
Vampire Knight.
Ooh, any particular reason?
It's a cool figure. It's got more. I mean, I have both of them. Urx is a more important character, but I like the multiple heads that come with the Vampire Knight. It's a more flexible figure in terms of popping and swapping and customizing. Yeah, it's Vampire Knight all the way. I love that figure.
Okay. Myself, I'm going to go with Urxa. I love Urxa. I've always loved Urxa. I love her head sculpt. I know she's kind of basic other than that, but I love her. And like I said, I think in the last show, that vampire looks like he'd be the butler for the other vampires.
Okay, and I love the Vampire Knight, but after all the shows that we've had and discussions have been popping up, Queen Urxa has been a favorite with many, and I've been sold. I don't, I think I'm going with Queen Urxa this time. Probably not the next time, but here I am. So this was a quicker one, but the thing is, Len.
I would go with C with Urxa. The vampire's never been one of my favorites. This particular one, and the chat is now not tied, and it is 7-6 for the vampire.
So that means actually we are 3-1. So Queen Urxa wins by 2 or something, right? Yeah.
Yep.
We're okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we're getting the premises of here, how
Yeah.
this works. And it's okay to struggle. It's okay to fight. It's okay to be upset. But we don't curse. Because we don't do that.
What made you choose these figures for the bottom bracket?
I actually did it on random. I had all of the figures, and then I just randomly picked down a few.
Okay, I was just wondering.
No, so I because otherwise someone would tell me like, "Oh, you're biased" or something. But I don't want to be biased. Okay, Zorya and the Shadow Elf. I'll go right away. Zorya for sure. I don't have the Shadow Elf. I would love to have it, but Zorya, I think she's badass.
All right. I will just say that this is a hard one for me. I like both these figures a lot. I would go with what I want in my box is the Shadow Elf.
Okay,
He's an army builder. Zarya is a main character.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have an army builder in this case,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a really good army builder.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I now
Jeremy?
see that I need another one of those ponytails.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Steven. Almost exact same reason. Again, I have both of them. I don't need more. Actually, I have a couple Zaryas. I have one that I repainted into a female Fury Orc with that body. So it's a great figure. It's got some flexibility, but the Shadow Elf is very, very versatile. I've used that for a number of different figures. That's got to be my choice here.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna fight you guys because I think that's an awesome figure, and I think I want that one more since I also have Zorya. But respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Can I vote third party? Anyway, sorry, that's not funny in these times. Len.
Okay, let's see. There was actually a lot of action on this one. A lot of
Len,
opinions.
did you vote? You didn't vote.
Not yet. No, I usually save that in case I need to break a tie or something.
He likes to keep us in waiting.
He want the
Well,
power.
that and I don't have time to think because I'm sitting here trying to like read all this stuff. Usually, Jeremy, I go off screen and do this, and then I pop back in.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to do that right now because this is new for us, this bracket thing. So I don't want to like mess any buttons up. Okay, so 13 votes for A, Zarya. 2 votes for J, the Shadow Elf.
Ooh.
It's a landslide.
Yeah,
It's a landslide. Moving on from that guy. Oh, but Len, sorry. What
Yeah.
did you vote?
This is a tough one. That's a really hard one for me because I really like them both. There was something I really liked about Shadow Elves from the very beginning. It was like one of my favorite races to jump into. I think it was the first one I wanted to have them all like right away. There wasn't a lot, but still, I just really like them. And so that's a really tough one. But Zorya is really cool. It's a very cool figure, and I think it stands up even against the new stuff. So I would have to go with A also.
Got it. And moving on to these, the Red Shield Soldier and Godfrey. Godfrey.
Ooh, this is
So-
a hard one.
I'm going to go Red Shield Soldier on this. Godfrey is a cool figure, but he's the kind of figure that I think a lot of people are going to want him because he's so hard to find. But with the new Templars coming out, those are going to obviously, I think, take the place in a lot of collections, or at least in the front of the displays of some of the older Templars. Red Shield Soldier is just a great figure. So many pop and swap possibilities with that. Was kind of a sleeper when it first came out, which is why it became so hard to find. 3 different heads in that figure. Just versatility, out the wazoo. I love that one. I'm going to go K.
Yep, makes perfect sense to me. I was one of those who was looking at that when it was released, and like, I'm not sure what I think about this one. Definitely, I remember Dennis Derby, who was like, "That's the one I'm getting 9" or something. He wrote.
Mhm.
And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"What? Why?" And that was the kind of like first lesson for me, because when it arrived, I don't think I actually got it. I had to get it later, but it was like, okay, now I see it. I understand it totally, and it's especially the pauldrons and the waist piece were the ones like, wow, these you can use on so many. I'm still not a big fan of the torso. It's like too slender, but it works better for me with vampires and skeletons, which I want to be slightly slender. But I go with K as well. And I love Templars, but K is definitely one.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Red Shield Soldier, and I really love Sir Godfrey. It's hard to do, but for all the reasons you guys said, for all the parts it comes with and everything else, got to go with the Red Shield Soldier. Although I think that in today's day and age of Mythic Legions, an amped up Sir Godfrey 2.0, that'd be sweet.
You never
Just
know.
saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
Well, we have a lot of votes on this one too. It really seemed to sway one way in the beginning, but then it really just evened out again. Surprise. Let's see. Godfrey had 14, and K, the Red Shield Soldier, had 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
So- What do you pick, Len? Because then it's 15 to 14.
I have been listening to a lot of Euro Legions podcast, and I think that they corrupted me to not be a huge fan of Godfrey because those guys are just not loving him. I think the Red Shield Soldier takes it for me.
Awesome. That was a tight one.
And that's
Definitely.
unanimous. That's all 4 of us voted Red Shield Soldier.
Yeah, Red Shield. Jeremy, he wasn't
You're
he
right.
like the first one to sell out from Arethyr?
He
when that
was,
wave
because
came?
he was the definition of a sleeper. He was one. A lot of people saw the big frog mouth helmet, and they were like, that looks weird, even though it's based on a historical design. And then he was one of those figures that when it arrived in hand, and a lot of people also, I think, thought it looked more like a Legion builder because a lot of the details are very subtle.
Mhm.
And when they got it in hand and they were like, oh, this is a really cool figure. It's got a lot of versatility. I can use this for a lot of builds. That's what happens, right? Fewer are ordered, more people need them. But because fewer are ordered, there's fewer out there to fill that demand. And it's the first to sell out.
I totally get that. Moving on. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Actually, we now have the 4 that we need. So I need just a few minutes to put these 4 in with the other ones.
Okay.
So
Right.
talk among
Now
yourself.
he's gonna take those winners and move them up. What'd you have for lunch today, Jeremy?
Oh, we had empanadas today.
Oh,
Very
empanadas.
good. I got a pair. I didn't go crazy with the empanadas. I just went with beef and cheese. A little classic empanada style for Jeremy today.
Nice. Is that now some empanadas? I noticed they just. I think the traditional recipe is to put the green olives in them. I'm not a green olive fan. Did they have green olives?
No, there was no green olives in it.
Nice.
And they were cool. They were like baked empanadas. So like the outside, sometimes I've had empanadas that are really greasy and like crispy. These, there was still a crispiness to them, but they were baked and they didn't feel like big grease patties going in my stomach. So definitely very good.
Very good.
Well, I don't know. They told this story, but one thing we do here at Four Horsemen Studios is when it's your birthday, they do a lunch for everybody and you get to pick what you want. So my birthday was in early March and I wasn't in the studio, but they knew it was my birthday. So they reached out to me and they said, hey, what would you have wanted for your birthday lunch? And I said, empanadas. And they literally went, got empanadas. I obviously didn't get any empanadas, but they ate empanadas here. Took a picture of them all eating empanadas. They actually took a picture of all of them with their arms crossed like this, with empanadas in front of them, and sent it to me and said, happy birthday.
I love it.
That's funny.
I love
That's
it.
love.
That's awesome.
And I must say, when I asked you guys to talk among yourself, I did not expect it to end like this, but that's fun. And now I need now I know what you want for your birthday.
Empanadas.
Empanada. I've never had empanadas. And I was listening to you guys what you were talking about. I don't know what it is still.
You did have empanadas.
I did?
Yes. Remember when you were at my house? We went to Matt Rodriguez's house, and that was
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember empanadas. So I totally agree with you, Jeremy. Those are excellent.
They are. They're good.
They are good.
Come on, I'm there for a week every year, and then I try like a million different things, and I still can't. There's so much good. First meal there though, wasn't it Chick-fil-A?
One of the first places we took you was Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I can't remember if it was the very first.
Nah.
No, it was the day after. Yeah, the day after. With so many things, it was like, yeah, we have this, we have Chick-fil-A. Well, I never had Chick-fil-A. You never had Chick-fil-A? It's like, okay. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. It's hard to be a foreigner among so many celebrities. So, here we have the big cheer for all. Oh no, you don't see it.
Do it. We got
There's a lot of food talk in the chat. It's great.
We have the big bracket here with all the different characters. So, are we ready to move on? We have quite a couple. We have some to go through.
Yep, let's do it.
This one breaks my heart.
Ooh.
So, who are we looking at here, guys?
Lord Aiden and the Slitherer, Grisha.
Yeah.
So, man. Ooh, this is a hard one.
I'm going Grisha. Grisha is one of my favorite figures actually in the line. As soon as I saw that figure revealed for Advent of Decay, the assassin character, the colors. I know the head sculpture, especially the helmet, is kind of like love it or hate it. I love it. It reminds me of St. Basil's Cathedral. It just got such a cool looking feel to that character. very Eric Treadaway sculpture written all over it. Grisha, as much as I like Lord Adon, I gotta go Grisha on this one.
And about the head, that's one of those heads that you feel like you almost shouldn't like. It doesn't have like the instant like this is something that you should love. I love it.
I love
and
it.
It's like and that's when a head sculpt can be that unique and be so badass. Also, yeah, I love it as well. I don't have Lord Adon, so I think I would be more happy to get Lord Adon. Tough call here. I'm going with Lord Adon. Really tough call.
Both of these are very high on my list of liked figures, so I'm gonna go with Grisha on this one though. Just because I think she's just I called her a she. I don't even know. I think it is. I don't know. It's just a more interesting figure, you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going with Grisha.
Stephen, Grisha also once got Pete McCarthy in trouble, so
I know that helps.
That's bonus points.
I love to see Pete in pain. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, everyone's like,
I'm sorry.
no.
I don't know the rules of this show. I'm speaking out of turn.
You're fine.
This is a 100% G show. No, not PG. I don't know the ratings. That's an American thing. We don't do that.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This was a landslide. This was Grisha with 16 and Adian with 6.
Oh, easy.
Grisha wins.
Yep.
Definitely. And that figure wins with me too. That's all day. I do need what's his name though? If anyone gets one in their box and doesn't want it, hit me up.
Got it.
I feel like this is going to be an easy one.
Balam and Hag. Tell me, how come you think this is an easy one?
I think more people are going to want Balam. Balam's got the cat head, which is very popular. It's got that secondary knight head that you can just make a knight figure. Hagnon being just totally transparent. He's very much a love or hate type character. I have them both. I love them both, but I've got to go Balam on this one.
Yeah. Balam is one of those figures I just recently opened for the very first time.
What?
Yeah, I had him. I bought him a long time ago, and then I never was into the cats so much. And when we got our new Poxus wave, I wanted him to complete my Basilia shelf, so I got him out and put him out. Now, having him out made me appreciate him much, much more, so I will go with Balam.
Yeah. And this is actually really easy for me. It's definitely a Balam for me. I'm translucent figures is not one of the toppest, most high ranking things on my list. I think I love Balam. That's simply it. I love the armor. I'm not a cat fan, but I love that head sculpt, and I love Balam in general. He's an amazing character. So, yeah, I think he's going to go far in this bracket for me.
All right, definite landslide here. Who was in 7th heaven? Balam with 18. And poor old Hagnon got 2 votes by first 58 in Hedgehog, because I think Hedgehog had pity for him. I don't understand why all of a sudden there's Hagnon hate. Everyone was all excited for the blue one.
Wait a minute.
Just because we just saw him come?
Wait a minute. But is it Hagnon hate because you love Balam?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't
know. I see in the Cabal a lot of people being like, "Oh, I hope I don't get Hagnon," and I'm like, "Why?"
Hagnon's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't spread the hate. Spread the love. Ooh. Lord Vitirius and Warrior. Oof. This is one of the easiest choices for me. I'm not sure if you want to go first or if I'm just going to say Lord Vitirius 100 times.
Why is Lord Viserys such a landslide for you?
I'm not a fan of Borrier. I know
Really?
Steven loves Borrier, and we have
Yeah.
talked about this in the past. Actually, I think I like Borrier more now than when I first saw him. But Lord Viserys, I think he's a badass character, and I love the story around him. I mean, not just how he became a figure, but the actual character. I love that character. He intrigues me way more than the Warriors do.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Emil. It's got to be. I do like Borrier. I think Borrier is one of the coolest figures to turn into a dwarf. You replace those hooves and the tail and head, obviously. It's just a great overall color to do dwarf customs with. But Viserys is one that really unique colored armor, the two different heads, just a cool figure. It's a fun character. And I got to say, I'm a little bit biased. It's named after Joe, who I run LegionsCon with. So, Lord Viserys.
Well, not only do I love Borrier, but as one lord, I don't like other lords on my turf. So, as Lord Bashadi the Alpha, I'm definitely going with the Borrier. The Borrier is everything Jeremy just said. I mean, I think it's great as is. I do, but he is also one of the coolest looking armors, dwarf armors. If you just do a little bit of pop and swapping with them.
Yeah.
And I love his color scheme. I love his weathered armor. I think he's a home run for me.
Borrier is not a character, right? It's a group of it's a species almost. It's a group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a race, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, this was like really surprising for me. It was a runaway in the beginning, and then it just like kind of evened out a little bit towards the end. But from the beginning, Borrier like was really crushing.
Wow.
Believe it or not, with 11. He ended up with 11, and Viserys ended up with 8. So Borrier won the fan choice.
So it comes down to you because Stephen picked Borrier.
Yeah, Stephen picked Borrier.
So I don't matter. Oh, Kevin Boots just came. Hey, Kev, what's up, man? Kevin came in with another Borrier vote.
Yeah,
so that's 12.
Borrier.
So 12 to 8.
Do you still want to say which one do you prefer then?
Viserys.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I love Borrier. His paint's awesome. Like, I really like that red, and he's really cool. But I mean, come on, it's Joe, man. It's cool. He's got the big guns. It's a great figure.
Comes out. Morgoth and Clavius. Who want to go first?
I'll go.
I'll go for. Oh,
no, Stephen, Lord, please.
Clavius all the way. I know that the what's her name? Morgoth. I know Morgoth is a cool figure. She's neat. She's got a great headdress, all that stuff. But I really love Clavian. He's got a muscly, and he's got a really cool helmet. It's got everything I like.
Stephen, you don't need to explain it, Stephen. Anyone looking at these two characters would know that Clavius is all you. I am going to agree with you, though, Stephen. I think a lot of people want to pull Morgoth because she is an important character. She's something that is a character that a lot of people skipped on, or a lot of people, once they got into the line, she was long sold out. She's one of the children of Necronominus. There's a ton of reasons why people want to pull Morgoth. If I'm deciding what I want to pull, it's Clavius. It's a very cool figure. It's a versatile figure, and also a character that's got some really cool scenes in the book.
Awesome.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, Clavius is cool.
Of course, that makes sense from all the lores that are... Okay, I'm not gonna pick your brain on this too much, but it's, of course, there are a lot of characters involved with the Colosseum and the things. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to pick your brain. Actually, I do. I'm so excited about that book, and you know that I try to keep holding back all the questions that I have for you because Anyway, so
No problem, man.
yeah. So I love Morgoth. I wouldn't mind an extra of that chest piece. That would be really fun to do some customs with. But Calavius is the more badass characters of these, so I'm going with Calavius as well.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. First off, we have it's so funny because all the voting's the same. Like it seems like an avalanche for one character, and then like it just slowly like evens out. So Morgoth has 12 votes, and Clavius has 8 votes. So it ended up being pretty close.
Wait a minute, 12-8?
Yeah, it's 12-9. Now we're changing it. Now we're going to 9. I just got another
so
one.
it all comes down to what you vote then.
I would have to go with Morgoth because she has a bigger hat.
Oh, so you actually...
Look at the size of that thing. It's
we
huge.
totally forgot the hat vote.
It's like she's like the Pope. That's the.
Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay, so she wins because of the hat, and you don't say that Clavius has a hat.
It's a
Morgulus wins the hat fight.
I like his hat, but it's not.
Yeah, we hear you. Thistlethorn and Delphina of Etheros. No. Yeah.
Yeah, still funny.
Thank you. So,
Come on.
Do you want me to go? It's this
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Steven
Absolutely.
is not very interested in these two.
Absolutely, Thistlethorn. There's so many reasons. It's a goblin body, which I love using for my critter customs. It's a fun little figure. It's just a cool character, relic master. Thistlethorn's a major character in the story, so having written a bunch of scenes with Thistlethorn, he's a super fun character to write. There's every step of the way, Thistlethorn wins this for me.
I just wish I knew what he was. Like, I can't give him a voice. Is he like, if I'm playing with my guys like I do, you're playing with your guys and you're having your little conversations with your guys like you do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to voice him. Like, is he like, hi, I'm Thistlethorn? Or is he like, hey, how you doing over there? I'm Thistlethorn. I don't know what to do with him.
He's more like the first one. So he's more like the first voice, but he's also really grumpy when things like he doesn't have his comforts. Like when he's not in the castle and he's got his like little like honey cakes and his like little tea and all his comforts, he's just miserable and complains constantly, but he's super cute and he's got that nice little squeaky voice that you almost don't mind that he's just constantly nonstop complaining.
So he's the tiny Pete McCartney.
No. I think Greg must have heard that story before because he says he sounds like Cookie. And that pretty much describes him. If he doesn't have his comforts, he gets really grumpy. Jeremy, were you guys discussing this at lunch?
No, that's
Jeez.
That's what
Talk about hitting the nail on the head.
I like it. That's fun.
So does that mean you pick Thistlethorn, Steven?
I picked Thistlethorn.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, come on. How have I treated Delphina in all of these brackets?
You always treat her bad. It's
I don't like her.
I would never allow you to go on a date with her if I was her father.
I mean,
never.
I treat her. I'd be respectful. I'm a good guy.
Yeah, but I don't see.
I wouldn't be a second date though.
There. I don't see the potential in the long run. It's not.
She always looks like she's pursing her lips. Like, hey, look at my lipstick.
No.
Look at her.
So Delphina.
She's doing it right now. She's doing it right now.
That paint job for that head is included in a couple of figures.
Yes.
The paint job for Delphina is my favorite paint job for that head.
It is mine as well, Emil.
Oh, that's so great to hear because she's one of the most beautiful characters in the whole line. One of the absolute most beautiful characters.
Yep, absolutely.
But I
think it's a great figure. There's a number of reasons I like Thistlethorn more, but that's not a knock on Delphina.
No, and I actually, as most days, I would say Delphina. Now I'm going with Thistles. That sound is extra hard for someone not native in the English tongue. Thistlethorn. Yeah, I vote for him.
Isn't it Thistlethorn? Or is it Thorn? Thistlethorn.
Thorn.
Oh, okay. I believe you.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
guys.
Okay, please.
So
go.
the first off, this was really surprisingly close until just now. Again, where I think maybe people are messing with me and they're voting twice. I don't know. Whatever. Thistlethorn 16, Delphina 12.
Ooh.
And when I did the first tally, they were dead heat even at 12 each. And then Thistlethorn came through at the end.
Yeah, they got convinced by the voice acting.
Maybe. And I would have to go with Thistlethorn also, because
There we go.
it's him. I mean, he's awesome. It's one of my favorites.
This.
Oh, no!
Okay, we have the Elf Ranger and
Do I have to even do this?
Ragnar. Yeah, I.
What does Ragnar's voice sound like, Jeremy?
She doesn't have a voice.
Oh.
She's not. She didn't make. I don't think she's gonna make it into the book.
But you created her sister.
Eric Treadaway doesn't even like her.
That's. I know,
It was
really.
so when I heard the show from yesterday, and I was like,
Yeah.
he starts to say that I kind of liked her when I did her, but then afterwards nobody liked her, and now I don't like her either, and I was so sad. It's like, oh, I'm so.
There's a lot to like about that figure,
Tell
but
us.
if you really wanted a female dwarf, I think what you wanted was what the studio gave you in the Dwarf 2-pack and the Exiles 2-pack. That for a lot of people is kind of what they wanted. The parts weren't around at that point. To me, Ragna is an example of trying to do something before you had the proper parts available to make it.
She feels very gnomish instead.
Yeah, someone said that she makes a better halfling than a dwarf. I think that's fair. I mean, the Elf Ranger all the way. The Elf Ranger is a great figure. It's one of my favorites. So regardless, even if this wasn't going up against one of my least favorite figures in the line, the Elf Ranger is still going to be a tough one to beat. So much to love about that figure. The unhooded head, the overall color scheme you've got here. Great figure.
I don't have the Elf Ranger. I would definitely that's a top figure
Yeah.
to me that I don't have, but it's definitely a top figure.
Yeah.
Easy
that's a
vote
good
for me.
pull. Yeah.
Elf Ranger for me. I don't think I even need to explain it.
It's like, if anyone else would have said it, I would be like, yeah, sure. But when you say it, I don't even have to explain it. I get so many ideas in my head that I don't want to speak out. And I'm not going to do that. Len, please.
All right. If you guys had to guess, would you think that it was close, or would
No.
you think it was a landslide?
It could be close because she's a dwarf, and whenever dwarves get involved, weird things happen.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, closer than I would have ever have guessed. Just for the for Trevor's keeping count on us for Steve, male versus female Steve, still 5-0.
I love the fact that Trevor is keeping that unofficial count. Please keep doing that.
I love that. So Elf Ranger 17, Ragna, or not Ragna. What's her name again?
Ragna.
Ragna. Yeah, I was right. 15.
Wow.
Right? 15
Okay,
to
that was-
17? That's way closer than I thought it would have been.
Yeah. So, wow.
Wow.
It could be that people don't like the Ranger.
What's
How
not
could
to
you not like the Ranger? The Ranger's awesome.
The Ranger's
I was just
phenomenal.
Such a
We're
great
just-
figure.
I'm just going to move along, please. I
Okay.
didn't
Okay,
want
go
to
ahead.
hate-
Okay.
Here we go. Freya is back in this bracket now.
Back. She's going down now.
She's
That,
back.
Go ahead.
Tell us, Len. You were
What?
very,
No, that's not my role right now. Jeremy starts.
Shadow Elf Ranger. Love that figure. I mean, I chose the Shadow Elf Ranger is, in my opinion, a superior figure. I love the Elf Ranger. I love the Shadow Elf Ranger. Just everything about this build. You know, a lot of people, I myself have used it as a fill-in for Dritz. I like Freya. I think Freya is an underappreciated figure, but this is not a contest at all for me.
I love the Shadow Elf Ranger, just like with the Ranger, the Elf Ranger, but the Shadow Elf Ranger I like even more. Still don't have it, but I think it's amazing.
Gotta go Shadow Elf Ranger here. I mean, I do like Freya as a figure, but yeah, I like the Elf Rangers, whether they're Shadow or they're not Shadow. So I'm taking that. It's more bang for your buck, more pieces. I think it. I'm guessing he's rarer. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like he's rarer than her.
I don't think that would be true. I think that she's, well, I 100% know that's not true, especially because he's now one of the ones that we did as part of the small reissue run, and she was a warehouse find. So I think if we just looked at the original run sizes, the Shadow Elf Ranger would have beaten Freya out. But when we calculate in the new quantity, he's definitely got more out there than Freya.
Okay. What?
6-0. Thank you, Trevor. This one was not as close as other ones. The Shadow Elf Ranger was 12, and Freya was 7. And my personal vote would also be Shadow Elf Ranger because it was my first figure, and
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I was gonna say, wasn't he one of your first?
Oh yeah, and it's a great figure. It's amazing.
Yep.
Easy pick then.
Big fan. Oh,
Urxa and Snag.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going Snag all day on this. I love the goblins. When the goblins were introduced in the Advent of Decay wave, they were some of my favorites. Snag, I mean, the goblins all just ooze personality, but Snag, he double oozes personality. Love that little guy. Got to go him all day.
I was really hoping that I would get to surprise everybody and pick a female. But Snag is one of my favorites, and so is she. I love her, Urxa. But I'm going Snag. I mean, he's that little thief is just he's amazing. Love him.
when I started collecting, I got a big haul of figures, and he was one of them. And somehow I decided to sell most of the goblins. He is the one that I'm regretting the most. You know, of course, Snag for me. And it's not just the head sculpt; it's all the parts and the character in itself. You know, with the body and everything. It's like I love that character. He feels super important in the story just because of how what a great character he is.
Yeah, he's a character that I get parts sometimes with other figures, and I'm like, I want to give this to Snag because it looks like something he'd steal.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. That one was as much as a landslide as you can get. Thank you, Trevor. 18 votes for Snag and 4 votes for Ursa.
Wow.
I would also go with Snag because that face is awesome. That head sculpt, and it's classic. It's just screams D&D adventure.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, D&D. Yeah, we need to do one of those, you know, like you did, Jeremy, once when you would pick the D&D party with different
Entry
characters.
party, yeah.
We should do that here. I really would love to do that because that's a lot of fun to see what you guys. So, moving on to.
I just want to say hello to Schnurmenberger Burger. What's up, buddy?
Just
Sorry, go ahead.
His name.
I love it.
So this is clearly doing one whole side, and then once we get to that one, then we're going to do the other side.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Got it. This is a hard one. This is, I think, the hardest battle for me I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Grisha on this one.
But you're still saying that it's a hard one.
Oh yeah, I mean, Grisha versus Balam. Which one of those figures I'd rather have?
Yeah.
I just happen to like Grisha so much, but I like Balam. Grisha.
Mm-hmm. Get it?
I will say it would be judging, I'm going to go Grisha too. I don't have a lot to say about that, but that's my choice.
Two great characters. I agree that this is a hard one, but I'm going with Balam. I'm definitely leaning to him. I like the posture of him. I like the power that he radiates. I like them both. Definitely hard one. I don't care who wins here, but I go with Balam.
This will be interesting to see what the chat says, because
Yeah.
I don't know what the chat
I'm
is
just
going
trying
to
to
say.
log in some. There's a
might
lot
be
going on for this one, so just
This might be one of the most even votes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you come to how much you like different characters.
give me a minute, guys. Hold on, I'm doing it. What's Trevor's count? Or is there no count on the? Oh, we won't. All right, we're not going to go there.
We can't count this one.
Trevor had a great comment, actually. So
All
I
right,
can't. I'd bring it up, but I can't.
Grisha
okay. Let's do it.
wins with 16, now 17, and Balam comes in second place with 13.
Ooh.
What? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also give the nod to Grisha. I mean, I really like Balam, but
Yeah.
come on.
Okay.
The highly original character is just going to take it for me every time.
Grisha, here we go.
Can we see the full board, Emil? Can you are we able
we
to
can do that
kinda
now.
see where we're at? Okay,
Oh.
so we have one.
Oh, yeah, that's what you mean, Jeremy. Yeah, I didn't think.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to those other characters yet. We're doing one whole side.
Of course. Now, yeah,
Yeah.
So we're doing one side, and then we were there, and
Yeah.
then we have a final in the middle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Okay.
So moving on. This is the first time we do this one, so it's. Ooh.
Heck yeah.
Ooh.
Hat.
This
I'm gonna go Warrior on this one.
I'm gonna go Morgoth with this one.
I'm gonna go Warrior with this one.
What does
I'm
the
gonna
vote
go
say?
Warrior on this one.
You said Warrior too?
I did.
That's a
He's
win. We all.
fine hat.
Oh, you said Morgoth, didn't you?
Yeah, he said Morgoth. I love the fact that we got through this one so much quicker, because I think we just all saw the board and how many more votes we have to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. And
I'm getting a lot of Warrior votes too. To be honest.
yeah,
Yeah. If for the sake of movement you want to jump ahead, I say just go Warrior.
we can do that. It's
Yeah, and just not to
Ooh.
overlook the chat. It's all sixes. It was all coming up sixes. So
I saw some
and they're
M
still
though.
going.
I saw some M. I'm just gonna acknowledge that I saw some M. Since
there's a
since,
couple, but I mean it's clearly all sixes.
since
the
the
top one.
Lord and Mr. Mythic Customs both out. Oh, like if this was an even one, I'm gonna say Elf Ranger right away because, yeah.
I really want to vote Thistle because I love the figure, I love the character. But if I'm picking this the way we are, which is which one we'd rather have in our mystery box, I've got to go Elf Ranger as well.
You could go just
Really?
with the one that you think is the best.
It's hard for me to say which one's best because it's such a relative term. So
It is.
for a tough one like this, I'm going to say which one I would prefer of the two to pull out of a box, and it's going to be Elf Ranger.
Got it. And I just want to say something about the term "the best" because we have had some people react to that before, and we know it's a very relative term, and that's why we use it because then we can incorporate all of these different things like story or that you like how it looks or whatever. It's not as precise, but maybe sometime we should go best bios or something, but best overall. That's what we're going with.
Well, best overall for me is the Ranger. I do like the little Buzz Monk, but Ranger takes it. He comes with more stuff. He's just more of a classic figure. It's like if I could only have one of these figures in my collection, which one would I pick? Ranger every time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the little Fuzz Monk has proved himself to be incredibly versatile because he is pretty much won by, not quite a landslide, but pretty high, 20 votes.
Wow.
Versus 10 votes.
That's the most votes so far.
Wow.
That is the most single votes so far. And another one, Brad Johnson just popped in with another one for 21.
Ooh.
So he's up to 21. So that's a high vote.
Okay.
And
Right.
your vote, then?
My vote?
Yeah.
Thistlethorn also. I love the Ranger, but I love Thistlethorn. And if I'm pulling him out of a box and that's what I'm basing it on, that's the one I want.
If you would have went Ranger, that would have been an upset because we would have reversed the chat.
I gotta do what I gotta do. I don't know, man. I like his hood, but it's not.
No, I'm not saying you did wrong. I'm just saying I was like, wow, to be that decisive in the chat and then have that one left up to a run on the four of us. Ooh, that would have been some legendary.
Exciting. Okay. Steven, I need, before I can vote on this, I need to hear your thoughts because this is a tough one for me.
This is really hard.
It's a tough one for Steven to do.
I love Snag. I love him, and I love the goblins, and there's other dark elves. Snag is so unique, and there's so many parts, but he's not an army builder. But neither, I'm going with Snag. But it's hard.
It's so hard. Steven, I think I have to go with Shadow Elf Ranger.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I like the Shadow Elves, and that's arguably that's arguably the best of the Shadow Elves with the two heads. Mm-hmm. I've got to go, the Ranger.
Yeah, the absolute best Shadow Elf, definitely. I think it's super cool, and I'm not a big fan of the goblins. There are not a fans who are big fans of the goblins, but I really feel like I want to have a Snag on my shelf. So Snag is it for me. I want a Snag. So that was pretty quick voting, even though good. It's good to see that there are a lot of things that you can get in these boxes that are really good, and you will probably even if you pick something that's not your favorite, it's definitely someone else's favorite. So just bring it away.
This was a landslide, guys. This was 20 votes for Snag and 6 votes for Shadow Elf Ranger.
Wow.
And then we had a couple of Snag votes here as well. And Len, your vote is also Snag? Or?
Oh, man. It is so hard. This is the hardest one so far. By far. The only reason I might sway towards a Snag is because he's a named character. And I just have like that thing for like the lore, the names, and bios. So like I'm gonna lean that way. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to do it. And he has a red hat.
Snag it is.
Man, that was a good fight, though.
That was a good fight. That was.
This must be the easiest one so far. We're getting up to the closer ones. We're back with Grisha and Borger. Please don't say anything else than Grisha, right?
Yeah, this is Grisha. This is Grisha.
Well, they're both very unique. We've only got one head on like that on Grisha. We've only got one head like that on a Borger. I really love the Borger.
You do. I wouldn't be surprised if you picked Borger, and
I'm picking Borger.
It turned Grisha into a dwarf.
That's true.
Wait, who's so there? Cool. Who's that voice?
That is Mr. Joe Vassapolo, letting everyone know that you can't turn Grisha into a dwarf. So his vote is clearly for Borger.
I'm going to vote for Borger.
I'm counting that, Joe.
Okay, if Warrior wins this, I must admit I will.
There's a
feel
lot
little
of
bit
voting
shocked.
going on, so hold on one second.
I don't think Warrior's going to win, in my opinion.
I just see a lot of votes for both, but
I'm actually surprised Borear has made it this far. This is like,
yeah.
this is pretty deep into this bracket.
Let's just just look at it's in the semi. It's
All right,
we're almost in the final for this one.
you ready?
Yes.
It was not close.
It
This
wasn't
was
okay.
Gersha for 14 votes and 6 votes for Warrior.
Okay.
And your vote, Len. We care about you as
S.
well.
It's S tier. The Slither is S tier all the way.
Whoa!
Snag.
Oh,
It's the goblin fight.
Is this Is this for the final spot? Like for this side of the bracket?
No.
No.
Nope.
Wow.
It'll come down to
Almost.
it'll come down to whoever wins this.
This is the Sweet 16.
The winner of this one will meet Grisha.
I'm going to go Thistlethorn.
Ooh. Snag for me.
Snag for me.
Well, you guys got to talk more because there's like tons. I don't want to just like throw this one because it's actually
Don't.
mixed.
This is obviously a hard one. I think Thistlethorn is a really cool figure, but I just look at when I look at both of them together. Where's my eye go? It goes to Snag. That blue hood just boom. It's really cool. They're both named characters. I know Thistlethorn is a bigger deal in the story than Snag. If Snag's even in the story, I don't know, but.
Yes.
Oh, he's nodding.
Good. I'm glad he is. But I think it's kind of funny because we've got the relic collector versus the thief here. Mm-hmm. He's gonna steal. I want to see Snag steal Thistlethorn's relics.
Ooh. That's gonna be a fight because he will spot that. He is a good keeper, so he's not gonna be like, oh, where did I put my relics? I think he has good. He knows where the stuff is, so it's gonna be a fight, and then he's gonna win because he's definitely a better fighter than Snag. Oh my God, that's an easy win.
Snag's gonna cheat, man.
This is tight, fellas.
Is it?
Really, yeah, it really is. Snag has 11, and Thistle has 10. So they're one vote away from each other.
Oh,
So
wait a minute.
what did we vote again?
Snag.
I voted Thistle.
Yeah, and Steven Snag.
Yeah.
So they're even.
I'm voting Thistle.
Oh, so that you're leaning over to Thistle with 13-12.
So that would give Snag the win.
No, with Thistlethorn.
No, because we split it 2-2, which means our votes are almost irrelevant. It becomes the chat. So you said that Snag beat Thistle, right?
Yeah, that Snag just went up to 12, and Thistle's is at 10.
Yeah. So
I'm so happy that we have some extra experienced hosts here that can, I like this because, Merca. Let's go with Snag then. I know you can't say Merca every time an American does something, but it's an easy way out.
Greg can't vote twice.
Okay, so this is the semi-final. The one who wins of these will meet the winner for the ones on the other side. Grisha and Snag.
I'm going Grisha.
No, I so really want that Snag creeping around my shelf. I'm going with Snag.
Oh, man, this is a really hard one, but I want Snag. I want Snag.
Look at his left arm. The colors and the armor pieces, and it's like I like how this character is created. I would like to see more goblins with bare arms or skin tight arms like this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wearing
not
a
all
little
goblins.
spandex. You like spandex on your goblins?
I do, yeah.
I wish we had little creepy muscly arms for our goblins. You know,
You hear that, Billy Beige? Get your spare decks ready for Legions Con.
because I mean,
Actually,
even if
when you say it like that, it doesn't make sense to have spandex, but it looks cool. We're men in tights, you know.
Not that close, fellas. Close, but not that close.
Oh,
No.
my prediction is Grisha's winning.
which one did you? But you picked Snag, right?
I picked
All right, you
Snag,
ready?
but my prediction is that Grisha is
Okay.
going to win.
I'm
Got
calling
it.
this.
Okay.
Snag, 16. Grisha, 12.
Ugh.
Oh,
Did not see that. But
No,
I like
didn't
it.
see that.
Does my
Are
vote
you-
count or no?
Well, yes. Tell us.
Well, I would go with Grisha. But
Yeah, but
does
I don't
not
think
matter?
that we can override the vote here.
No, that's
Okay.
So Snag is in the semifinal.
Oh,
Semifinal. And now we're moving on to the
Ooh.
right side of the bracket. And here, this will actually be Steven's first vote on a female character.
Oh no! What are you gonna do, Steve?
is he
no,
going to
I,
abstain? Is he going to abstain?
not true. I voted for
Urxa.
Queen
you're
Urxa.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she want to go against Ragnar? Or something? No.
This one's easy for me. As a spirit bender, from the beginning was one of my favorite figure designs. Easily as a spirit bender.
You used that in multiple customs, right? Parts from her.
No, she's awesome.
Until we did the Legions, when we ranked all the ladies, I didn't think much of her, but I've totally changed my mind. It's like I flipped all my ideas for her. I love Asa now.
Yep.
I also love Gwendolyn, but that big awesome plume makes her, she's one of the ones who is the hardest to stand, and I'm weighing that into this all. I'm voting as Asa.
Hmm.
And those hoods are cool. I like the plastic sculpted hoods, actually. I like them a lot.
I do too.
I actually prefer them towards the soft when it comes to the hood part, not the capes and stuff.
All right, ready? Not to cut you off, my friend, but
Do it.
We have 14 for Gwendolyn and 8. No, I messed that up. We have 4. Just
I feel like I
calm
saw
down,
a lot
everyone.
of votes for Asa.
This guy's. I got a letter and a number in the names. You don't. This is a tough job. Dyslexic guy. So 8. Asa has 14.
Okay.
And Gwendolyn has 7.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, your vote, Len, before we move on.
Gwendolyn.
Oh, sorry for you.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Ooh.
Bronze.
We got a dwarf.
Nubnik.
Everyone, it's a dwarf.
So Nubnik is one of my favorite one of my favorite goblins, but
Yeah.
Bromden is my favorite. I think Thord's my favorite dwarf, but Bromden is a close second. That is an amazing figure. Love Bromden. This is an easy win for the dwarf.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm piggybacking Jeremy. Yeah, Bromden, love him. Love him. Always have.
Steven, that was one of the first figures that I felt like when I opened it up, I was blown away by the loadout. We were so used to getting like 2 pauldrons, a belt, and 3 weapons. And then when we got Bromden, it just seemed like there was so much in that package.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I'm gonna go with Nubnik just because I love Nubnik. I love the character. He is probably my favorite goblins, but I don't have Thwick. But sadly, I realized that I love customizing, but it's sometimes you do some bad. This is Nubnik's legs, and I'm like, have I picked apart my Nubnik? And I was like, yeah, I have. So Nubnik is the best. Okay.
All right, it's a landslide for King Brahmin.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
Yeah. It's
Nabnik,
a
I fought
it's
for you.
11-5, but there's more votes coming in.
What was your pick, Glenn?
Brahmin.
Bromden.
Yeah.
Like any sane person would.
I'm sorry.
This is the part, Jeremy. I know you haven't experienced when the chat gets rough because people on delay are putting in the old stuff, and it gets really, really complicated. Throw that in with someone mixing numbers and letters for names is and it's getting a little rough, but I'm gonna persevere. I'm gonna do it.
Wasn't it a smart idea, Len, that I at least put
It is, but it isn't because it's me. And if it would have been just numbers, even if you did like ZZ versus like N or
Okay, so next time I'm
It's
not going to
okay.
use numbers. I used all the letters in the the English alphabet, and then 1, 2, the numbers. Anyway, this is okay. I'm gonna go out first because Brother Mandibulus is my favorite character.
Okay.
But still, I try to pick someone else, but I keep coming back to him. I love Brother Mandibulus. But when I look at all the boxes, the one figure that I would like to pick is Kador. So I don't know how to vote. I'm going to think about this. What do you guys say?
I say Brother Mandibulus. He is also one of my favorite figures, and I actually don't like Kador. Kador has always been a design that I just found like weird. I have a Kador. I have a single Kador. It's a good figure for popping and swapping and stuff. But if I'm going to pull one of these, I want to get Brother Mandibulus.
What is it that you don't like about Kador?
I don't like the helmet. I think it looks, I get he's supposed to be a barbarian knight, but the idea of this barbarian wearing that like spiky evil style armor, but still wearing his golden knight jousting helmet, it's indicative of the very early waves of the line when the library was limited and they did what they could to make new types of characters within that limited library. I know a lot of people like that. A lot of people like Kador. It's a very desirable figure as of late, but it's just always been a design that wasn't my favorite.
Got it.
Well, the chat is definitely agreeing with you guys with Broman coming in with 15 and muscly Knight Helmet Man coming in with 5.
Steven, did you vote?
I did not.
Sorry, buddy.
I really like Kador. He's one of my early on. He was one of my favorite figures. In this case, I'm going to go with Brother Mandibulus.
And since we're not, since we're voting about who's the best, I'm obviously voting for Brother Mandibulus as well. I mean, I recommend everyone to get one.
I also agree, Brother Mandibulus. He's black and red. Can't go wrong.
Black and red can't go wrong. So, King Noglin and Carpathius.
Carpathius was one of my favorite figures in that first Legions wave. I was looking forward to Carpathius so much. I still love that figure, but this is an example for me of a good figure coming up against just a great figure. King Noglin, such a cool figure. I love that expression. Everything about that character is just so much fun. This is a landslide with King Noglin. King Noglin's L stands for landslide.
But I think you're actually right, but I've always loved Carpathius.
It's a great figure.
I have to pick Carpathius anyway, but I agree with everything you say about King Noglin.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I like the goblins better than the vampires anyways. Like if I had to choose a faction. So, and Noglin being one of the best goblins in my opinion, I'm going with Noglin.
I'm sorry. Is it time for the audience?
Yeah, please come in.
If you have enough votes, if you could.
There's plenty of votes. All of a sudden, everyone came alive.
Oh,
That was
wow.
almost hard to keep up with. Not almost. It was.
Is this a landslide as predicted?
Oh yeah. I don't think we've ever in the history of doing these things have ever had such a landslide. 34 votes for King Noglin. And I'm gonna give this number, and I'm gonna be corrected because I probably missed something, but in 2 for Kirby.
Well,
I could have missed one. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at this point, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Whew, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, Thump and Eagleus.
Wow.
That's weird.
This is what they call the undercard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Thump only because Egalis has never been a figure that I cared for. It was one of the only birds in the first wave I didn't get, and then Egalis 2 got even more America. I'm gonna go Thump, fully recognizing that whoever goes up against Thump in the next round is probably gonna lose. I'm not gonna pick Thump. There are very few people I would pick Thump over. Nothing against Thump. It's just not one of my favorite figures. But Egalis is one of my least favorite.
Well, we share that in common, Jeremy, because I've been to a couple of Horseman events, the shows where they've thrown Egalis out on the table, and I've never even once picked him up because I never understood. It's if it's mythos and it's this, why is he American? I mean, I love American stuff. My favorite superhero is Captain America, but Egalis just never made sense to me, and I was like, I don't. It takes me out of the myth of mythos. So.
Egalis is a great figure from its ridiculous, over-the-top aspect. From that aspect, it is a perfect figure. The only way it could be more perfect is if it came with like machine guns. But it doesn't. It's not part of mythos. Egalis is not a character actually in the realm of mythos. It's a fun figure that they released in an All-Stars. I mean, released in Gothotropolis and then released in an All-Stars wave as a reboot to get more out there. But it doesn't fit my collection, so it's not something. If I pulled that out of a mystery box, I would trade it.
Well, I guess I wouldn't. If it was against anyone else than Thump, Eagles would lose. Thump is really not my favorite goblin. He's not. So I'm gonna pick Eagles, and while we're sitting here talking, I'm thinking like we could do some really cool Merca videos with that figure, and I'm going with the eagle.
I love the fact that is commented that America doesn't have to make sense. It's America.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of it that way.
Well, unlike an ISS sale, Thump came up a big winner with 26 votes versus Egalis with his 7 votes.
Len, you know how
Yo,
Egalis
yes.
would be better? Is if we had a 3D printed like Uncle Sam like top hat for him.
Oh my! Come on, that's perfect.
Machine guns and an Uncle Sam top hat, and he would be very good.
Can I make a confession?
What?
I love Egalis. I love him. I have him. He's like one of the few. I got him up. Like he's all in a flight stand, and it's freaking America, man. If I'm walking on it, it's America. It's Egalis. He's here. He's got the wings. I love him.
I love.
I bought him at ToyCon, like the one of the first figures we got.
I love
him.
that you love him.
And now he's gonna have a top hat.
Eric Miller's in the comments saying he needs a top hat, so you got one sold.
Yeah, Eric. Love it. Top 5, Anthony Asile, of course. Freaking America, man.
Oh.
It's Egalis.
So, what are the votes, Len?
I don't know. I just said you're not listening. 26.
Yeah, you said
26 for Thump.
yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
remember? Okay.
Sorry, I remember now. I was
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. I get all excited when it's America time.
yeah, and I'm afraid of Americans. They get so excited.
This is another easy one for me. I love Faunus. That's one of the most unique head sculptures in the entire line. Cool character, elemental warrior. Definitely Faunus.
Yeah,
This is not his-
I'm going with Faunus too. I really like Zarya. I like my Zarya because I painted the little wings that come with the little blue guy. What's his name? Malafar? Is it Malafar?
Yep. Not far.
I painted them to match her, and I put that, and I think she looks really cool with those little wings on her back.
You know
Just
what?
gives her something else.
Yeah. Oh, you know what wings I put on her for a long time was Drago Man.
Oh yeah, that I can see that too.
Dude, they're the exact right color. Like they fit perfectly.
But you don't get a pair of wings with her, so I'm gonna say Faunus.
And I this is so silly, but I'm so stuck on that ponytail of hers that I need to get another one now for for a custom. So it's like, no, that's what made her win this time. It's an even one otherwise, because I've always liked her. Red and black demon, very, very pretty.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Trevor's saying 8-0, but Steven did vote for Urxa at some point. So I feel like Trevor's count is off.
He
It might
crushed
only
you
be
on
off
my
by
count,
one,
so-
but it's off.
Was Urxa against a male character?
Probably not. Maybe that's the well.
He's only keeping track when it's female against male.
Oh, that might make sense. That if it's
Yeah.
female versus female, it doesn't count. I get it.
All right, I'm calling this one, and this is pretty much landslide. This is Faunus 16 and Urxa 6.
I mean, you Zarya, right?
Zarya, yeah.
She is a very, very, respectable demon. So please, Zarya is her name. But she didn't win anyway.
She did not.
Yeah.
What did you vote? I guess Faunus, right?
So in the last vote, I talked about how much I love the Red Shield Soldier, but this is an example of a character I love coming up against a character I love even more. I love the Fury Clan so much.
Yeah.
I helped create a 4-pack of them for LegionsCon. That Fury Clan is going to be a tough one to beat. I'm going Fury Clan Arc all day.
I'm just gonna second that. I love the Fury Clan characters, all of them.
Yep. I'm gonna have to go with the Fury Clan. I'm
Mm-hmm.
my namesake is part of it. So there it is.
That's where the loyalties lie.
Yeah, I'm
He's
gonna
the
have
best.
to. I'm not
He's-
even gonna count these up, but 1, 2, 3.
I'm guessing that Fury.
I'm seeing a lot of
It's-
K's.
Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's
14 to 6 in favor of the Fury Clan right now.
ooh,
Yeah,
and
so that's
we
a-
are.
That's a runaway.
Yeah, it is.
And we
Fury
put
Clan.
Fury Clan there as well. And you, Len, you as well.
No, I'd pick Red Shield.
Oh, yeah, you like that?
I like
Yeah.
Red Shield. Yeah, I'm just not.
It's okay.
If it was Lord Bashadi the Alpha, I would vote for that, but not that guy. Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna go Gonks on this one. Tough call. I do like Fallon Frostbow quite a bit, but that paint job, that rusty paint job on Gonks is a really cool look. Tough call, but that's the one.
Well, 2 characters I love, but I think everybody's gonna understand when I say Thalen Frostbow.
Wow.
I love Thalen Frostbow. I didn't army builder, but I have her standing on a shelf with 2 of her. I got the other hat on, 2 characters standing behind her, like her ladies in waiting. Maybe, I don't know. Is that what you'd call them? I don't know, but they're there, and I think she's cool. And I know that Emil thinks she has a funny face, but I think she's hot, and I love her armor paints. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Thalen Frostbow.
A funny face. I'm not sure I should describe it as funny, but there's something off. That sounds even worse. I didn't mean it like that, but it's like I really prefer the helmet for her, and with that helmet, Fallon is winning for me. But I do like Gongs as well. He's, among the goblins, he's second only to Nubnik, maybe, and Snag. But Thalin, yes. But then again, I love that helmet that is being used for the Vampire Legion builder as well. It's one of my,
This
Just
is a
love
runaway.
Oh,
I'm at 16 for Thalin and 6
Yeah, I'm not
for
surprised.
Rusty guy.
and let's do that. Let's move on then.
Yep.
She's a perfect example, guys, though, of how this line changes so much, where there was a point that Thalin was so easy to find that you almost couldn't give her away. And then you just fast forward a few years and she's super desirable, super hard to find. We've seen that with a lot of figures in this line.
Yeah. I remember seeing like stacks of her at a show that got packed up and taken back. And I was shocked on a Sunday. Like, what? Really? And then all of a sudden everyone like discovered her because they were opening her and it was like, boom, gone.
This is a really tough one for me, guys.
And you talk, said a lot of good things about both of these characters.
So this is an example where Bromden is a superior figure, but I love Azza. I love the look of Azza, and I know secrets about Azza that make me like Azza that much more.
Oh,
I'm gonna go upset here, and this is not an anti-dwarf thing. I love Azza. I'm gonna go Azza Spirit Bender. And it's a tough one because Bromden is one of the best figures in the line.
This is really tough. Really tough because I've been always a big fan of Azaz Spirit Bender as well, but Bromden is Bromden. I'm gonna go with. This is hard. How do you do this? I'm going. Azaz.
Whole new Steve up in here today.
Yeah. I get all fussy inside when I see this side of him.
I've always loved her tattoos or whatever those are. They look like tattoos. And I do remember that when I got Advent of Decay, I always remember the first figure I opened. And she was the first one. She was the one I picked out, and I was like, I'm opening her first because I thought she was cool in the pictures. And yeah, she's really cool.
So I've always thought of them as tattoos as well, but now when we're talking about her, maybe there are markings from some kind of spell. Is this something that you can that you may say something about, Jeremy, or is it the unimportant details, or maybe something that wait and see?
Wait and see.
Got it? You have no idea how much I feel, how intense my feelings are on the inside, Jeremy, waiting for this book. I don't think you understand it because you see this calm face, but I'm a lore freak, this is a big part of my life. Okay, I'm going with S as well.
Whoa!
Yes. I know people in the chat don't get angry with me, but I'm really not a big dwarf fan. And lately this Asa, everyone's talking about Asa, and I'm getting convinced.
I love dwarves, but dwarf fans are bullies. Let's say it.
Don't say that.
Did you see the way he winced when he said he wasn't that big of a dwarf fan? Because he's afraid. He's like, I'm afraid to be me because the dwarf fans are such bullies.
I just need a hug, that's all.
All right. Believe it or not.
There are so many hate.
This is a tie.
This is so many hateful comments.
Okay, well,
12 and 12 tie.
Yeah, but are you counting the three of us that voted for Azza?
Oh no, I don't count you guys. I'm only counting the.
Okay,
when I give those numbers, I'm only counting.
Who would you vote, Len?
I would vote Bromden.
Okay, well, even though we can't override everything, if you total up our votes and the audience, Azza wins.
That
Now,
was a
Anthony-
close one.
Now, Anthony Halseal wants to meet me at the playground at 7. I'm assuming to fight. See, bully. What would a bully do in high school? Or in you'd, let's go out there, I'll beat you up with all my little friends. Probably wouldn't even be a fair fight. He knows he can't handle me.
But then there are some stars in the darkness, like Jesse. I got a hug for you, Emil. Now I'm a less afraid again. So moving on.
Asa.
Oh,
Brother
no.
Easy peasy. Brother Mandibulus.
I'm gonna go Noglin.
I thought so.
I'm gonna go Noglin on this.
We are a very inclusive community here, so we can think differently and we can think wrong. I mean, I didn't think that you think wrong, Stephen.
God, this one's. I have a prediction that this side of the bracket's going to destroy the other side of the bracket if this is the lineups or the matchups we're getting. I don't know what to do here.
Ooh.
I mean, this is like.
You look at these two next to each other. These are really iconic characters of this line.
Yeah, they're fantastic, and I just keep looking at each one, and I'm gonna go Mandibulus. I can't even tell you why. It's just a feeling. I love these two are so neck and neck with me.
There's a lot of votes. Holy shit. Sorry.
What are we looking at?
I didn't even count them yet. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna count them. Talk 1 second.
Okay. Then that helmet. I'm just gonna say something about Brother Mandibulus that I've been thinking about, and I've said this multiple times. Looking at that helmet, it would be like almost okay. I don't want to sound negative. I'm just sharing a feeling that's not a cool helmet. You know, like it's a little bit weird, but it's not, because the overall look of Brother Mandibulus is perfect. You know, it's a perfect beast killing machine, and I don't want to hug him, but I love him. It's brilliant design.
So you just said that's not a cool helmet, but it's a cool helmet.
That's exactly what I said, because when you just take it like this, and it's like, maybe this should change into this, or maybe you should do something like that. But it's like, it should not change. Nothing of it should change, because the wholeness of Brother Mandibulus, it's perfect. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
I guess we are.
It's tight.
What do we got?
Brother Mandibulus received 19 votes. Noglin received 21 votes.
Oh,
So it's even. It's a tie. Me and Steven will voted Brother M. And Jeremy. No, so it's.
yeah. So 21 plus me is 22. 19 plus you guys is 21. So Len, are you going to make it a tie? Who would you vote?
I'm not even paying attention to your math, and so I will not. I will say that I would vote for Noglin.
Noglin wins.
Okay.
Boom.
That was the most even vote. You actually.
There's a lot of votes.
Did you do that? And you keep telling me more skeletons. You want more skeletons, and here I vote for skeletons, and you're like, nah, I'm picking a goblin.
Who said that?
You say that. You always
I
tell
never
me
say
like,
that.
more skeleton.
I'm always going to vote Noglin. Go ahead. Next.
Yeah, I hear you.
Faunus.
Easy. Faunus.
Let's just get through this one quick. This is easy. Faunus.
Faunus. I agree with you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Faunus. Next.
That's the four of us.
Four of us.
No, there's going to be people like voting. Hold on. Like, because now that's going to be all out of time.
It's just going to be all votes for Faunus anyway. We already.
The first one was for Thumb. But you're right. They're all coming in X's.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in on this. Oh.
Fury Clan. Fury Clan.
Oh, that's
Really?
it's that easy for you?
That easy.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite figures. I love the Fury Clan. That's also a great figure from a popping and swapping standpoint. Even before the Furious Four made this figure a character that you had all those other parts to work with, that's just a great overall figure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see Thalin with a helmet, she's a very, very cool character. And,
The helmet,
I'm
that helmeted
always
head's not one of my favorites. I don't love the helmeted head.
Oh, you don't?
Nah, not really. I mean, it's okay, but it's not. It's definitely not one of my favorites.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But on the other hand, I always love black and red.
Yeah.
But for this one, I did not think that I would go for this, but I'm voting Thalin.
Wow. What I find interesting here is we've got polar opposites here. We've got red and like almost black, and then on the opposite side you've got a warm template. Then you've got over there you've got Thalen, which is
Cool
white
template,
and blue, but I'm going with Fury here. I'm a fan of Thalen, like you guys. I just told you guys, but I'm a fan of both of these. I'm a fan of the Fury Orc more, so I'm going with the Fury.
Sorry, there's like an odd delay because we went so fast over the other one. So now like it's coming in. There was a big mix, so I'm trying to sort it. There's not a lot of voting oddly going on for these two, and they're very close.
But when you've seen people posting army builder pics with the Fury clans, it always brings a big smile on my face. It looks so powerful.
Right now, this is going by only one vote in the direction of the Fury clans, and it's pretty much stopped. So it's going to be 8-7 Fury clan.
Okay.
Oh, and we have. Wait a minute. Stephen and I said Dallin, and Jeremy. No, you went Fury clan.
Steven said Fury Clan.
Yeah.
Steven, you said Fury Clan, right?
I my bad.
I did.
Ooh, Asa and Noglin. We're getting close to the end now.
Guys, I'm seeing a pattern here, and I'm realizing who my winner for my voting might be. I'm going Asa again on this.
I'm going Asa as well with you. I can't believe that a couple of years ago Asa didn't interest me at all. I mean, like not at all. So I'm. But now I want her. There is something maybe with the focus of Basilia lately.
Asa has definitely gained in popularity, and it's incredible because nothing more has been revealed about her. She's still an absolute mystery. I said a little while ago, there are secrets about Asa that once they are revealed, I think people are going to like her character even more. She is a super cool character.
So, anyone have an extra?
No, I don't have an extra one of those.
Paint my Thalin into a Asa. It's
So-
not even the same parts.
This one hurts. I mean, I know exactly which one of my kids I like better, but I can't figure these out.
That's so horrible. That's so horrible, Stephen.
Poor Claire.
It's not Claire. I'm going Negleen.
Oh,
But it's tough.
Yeah, and I actually, that's.
All right. Are we ready for me?
Ready for you.
Asa, come in at 12. Nope, make that 13. Craig, damn you. And Noglin came in at 18.
oh,
I guess you have to rethink what you're gonna vote in the future, then, Jeremy.
it was going to be hard. She was my pick.
And
How come
Len,
Trevor quit keeping score?
Nuglin is the one that I would pick. Sorry to anyone that's questioning the integrity of my counting. It's difficult. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. We're just trying to have fun here. It's not a game. You're not going to win $1 million.
So
this is a tough one. Love
I'm just
both
gonna show
figures.
where we are. We have voted a lot of votes here.
Oh wow, we're really far. Okay.
Yeah. So the winner.
So this is
of
to go up against to get into the
Noglin.
finals.
However did Noglin end up this far up?
It depends on who. It depends on who they get paired up again in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go Fury Clan on this. Tough call. I love both these figures, and they both would be cool to pull out of a box from the figure themselves or a parts standpoint. I love the colors of the armor on Faunus, but I've got to stay Fury Clan with that arc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think Fury Clan's better, cooler. I'd rather get a Fury Clan.
And for me, this is not a hard one. I think the Fury Clan is way cooler. But maybe that exposes some of my, love for the evil ones compared to Silona's flock altogether. I don't know. No, that's not. You can't compare it like that. Fury Clan for me. I say one thing and then I go the total opposite, and then I've said both. I'm like a politician. I hate that.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let me log this last one by Micah Cleary. And this was a landslide for X26 V8.
Wow. That's a landslide.
Wow.
Len,
Wow, that is
your
crazy.
vote?
Faunus.
And we are up at the semifinal. Faunus and Noglin.
I'm gonna go Faunus.
I'm gonna join you on that. Second that.
I'm gonna go Noglin.
You really voted Noglin all the way, right? Every time.
I think so. I really like him. I think Faunus is cool too.
Are we going to end up with a Goblin versus Goblin finale? Snag
might.
versus
It's
Snag?
not.
Really?
I did not see that coming.
I did not see that coming at all.
I mean, I think I could. No, I couldn't imagine that. Snag, I thought would be in the top. Noglin, I would not have seen there. And it's. I mean, I'm just looking a little bit in the chat, but it seems like it's both way. Votes
Yeah, I'm seeing
Super close.
I'm seeing it be close.
But this, I honestly thought about a couple of characters beforehand that could have ended up at number one, but none of them are here. We voted them all off.
Well, I can say this. If I were to get a box and it either had Faunus or Noglin or Snag in it, I would be happy with all three of them.
Yep.
True. I agree, and that's what we're talking about here. Actually,
It's pulling in one direction. No, it's
I think
not.
that's one of the things that this exercise has really shown is that there are so many good pulls from these possible boxes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's shown in how little landslides there really are. I mean, everything's really tight in the fan vote, at least.
And also the the quality of all the figures in the way that one person's favorite or not favorite is another one's favorite. So it's like that's a lot of fun. It's really a diverse line when it comes to what you can pick, not. So Len,
All right.
are we
You ready?
Go
This
for it.
one's super close. This was
It's going to be a
Noglin.
Goblin finale, Joe.
Noglin comes in at 11. And Faunus got 12.
And we wait a minute. Oh, and we are having more votes.
I'm not seeing any more. The last comment is
So I voted Faunus.
Pat.
I
And I
voted
voted
Faunus.
Faunus.
You voted Faunus.
That's 14.
Steven voted
Noglin.
Noglin, which
That's
means
12.
even if Len votes Noglin, it's going to be that would cancel us out. So it means it goes to the fan vote, which you just said was Faunus, right?
Yep. And I would vote Noglin.
Oh, you would. Oh,
Yep.
that was interesting. So we're up to the final. This is the final of the whole bracket.
Two great
Snag
figures.
versus
Yeah,
Faunus.
talk about these figures. Let's get
Wow.
maximum votes for these guys. Rake them in. Let's go.
Two great figures. I like Steven said, I wouldn't be disappointed with either of these. From a customizing standpoint, again, I've used the smaller framed goblin figures for critters so many times. Love the Snag for that. He's got some really cool colors. I also really like the armor on Faunus. If you can replace the hooves with some armored feet, swap that head out, you've got a great knight build. Or, I mean, the fact that that head looks the way it is. I've painted that head evil before to do like a dark version of the character that looks super cool. They're two great figures. There's not a loser here. My pick would be Faunus.
I think I would need, playing around with Faunus, changing parts and realizing, or just holding him in hand and realizing how good the color of that armor is.
Yeah.
I think that's something that he would appreciate a lot more. Next time I come to you, Steven, I need to play more with figures. But even all that, as of now, my eyes keep moving up over to Snag. There's something about that character. Some character just end up looking iconic. And Snag is one of those. When I think about Mythic Legions, he is one of the characters that's like, definitely Snag for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like we said, I would not be disappointed. I would be very happy if I got a Faunus as well. It's so.
Yep. You can't lose here. Faunus. If you were to ask me what my favorite figures were, I'm not sure I would say. I'm not sure Faunus would come to mind. But I will tell you this: every time I look at my Zelona's flock, I do end up. My eye goes to him. He's really cool for all the reasons you guys said, but I gotta agree with Emil that the iconic look for me is Snag. So he's just something. He fits a goblin trope maybe so well that I just love him. So I'm going with Snag.
Len, before you tell everyone about the votes, do you want to share what you think about this?
I love them both. I think Snag has been just that like classic character to me forever. Like as long as I've been a fan of the line, he's that classic goblin. I wasn't a huge Faunus fan from the beginning. I remember him being on Big Bad at some point, like just kind of lingering there. Yeah. He was like one of the last 1.0s to be on there when I don't know what era that was, when there was a bunch when you could just go get them. Mm-hmm. And I kind of overlooked them. Like I kind of was just like, I don't know about this tree head guy. Now I love him. Absolutely do. I'm trying to get every single vote, guys. I'm being so accurate. Like I'm really trying hard. So are you ready to hear where we're at?
The
Because
final.
I think we're done. I think everyone's voted.
We need to add more audio to the
There's another one.
like
Drum roll. We need a drum roll.
Something like that.
The winner
Okay.
and undisputed champion of the Mystery Box Bracket Challenge is Snag with 22 votes. Faunus had 11.
Yeah.
Well,
Snag has stolen the audience's heart. That is not a surprise.
Oh, that little goblin.
That's
Love.
And the great thing is, Snag is one of the figures that was part of the reissues So there is actually a better chance that Snag will be one that you pull.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he's one of the reissues. So Faunus is as well, to be honest with you. It's kind of cool to see that both figures that made it into the top are from the reissue. So those are more likely. Those aren't warehouse finds where we have less than a case. Those are ones where the quantity is much, much higher. So you're more likely if you order a bunch of mystery boxes, it's very likely you're going to pull one or both of those figures. But even if you only order one or two mystery boxes, the reissues are more likely to be in there than the warehouse finds.
Maybe I need to go all in anyway. Okay, I just found an audio clip here, and it was definitely the wrong one to use for a winner. And the winner in this
What is
very likely bracket the fight competition is Snag. Say that together.
Is this your yoga music?
What?
Snag. No, it was a default audio that they had here.
Now going into downward dog.
Yeah. that was so wrong. I'm sorry
Wow.
for that.
That was a
No
lot of fun. That was
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
pretty
cool.
good. Jeremy,
Yes.
I know everybody knows, but do you just want to give us one final last detail on the mystery boxes, where we can get them, and what
Yeah.
they're about, quickly,
Yeah.
so everyone
So
knows?
so the mystery boxes are something that we did. We launched them this past Monday at storehorseman.com. Basically, for $75, you get two different figures. There was a group of 36 chase figures, the figures that we just went through and looked at tonight and did this bracket challenge. 14 of them were reissue figures. We did a small reissue run as part of the 10-year anniversary. So those are more likely. But there's also a bunch of warehouse finds that we found here as Cookie organized all of our space. Those got thrown into there as well to create that pool of 36. You also get a more current figure from something like All-Stars 5. All-Stars 5 is where most of what's pulling, but there are some Alithia figures in there as well, and just a variety of different figures that were available. So for $75, you get two figures. If you're in the U.S., there is actually also a flat rate shipping option, regardless of where you are in the U.S., or how many mystery boxes you buy. You can take advantage of $9.99 flat rate shipping. So whether you order 2 mystery boxes or 102 mystery boxes, you can get them shipped to you for $10. That is at Store Horseman. A number of people have asked, when does the sale end? We only have the number that's available is a fixed number. That number has consistently been going down since Monday. So once that number is at 0, the sale is done.
Awesome.
I do have one other thing that I'd love to bring up.
Sure.
Ooh, okay.
I just want to say congratulations to Len and Wolf King Customs, because today is the 4-year anniversary of the first ever part that Wolf King Customs sold, and I'm honored that that was one of the original Kitsune heads.
Oh, yeah.
4 years today, guys. So congratulations to Len and Wolf King Customs.
Thank you.
It just
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like 4 years. That's crazy.
It doesn't. I remember that sale and just being absolutely overwhelmed by the support. Emil, I remember you joining and doing that. I remember doing the teaser where it said "something evil this way comes," and then we turned the V to an M, so instead it transformed into something Emil this way comes, and we showed that ogre head you did. It's crazy how long ago that was, but how vividly I remember those days.
I remember that's kind of like the base for how I have such a good contact with all the three of you.
Mhm.
It's like it means a lot. All of those memories are very dear to your heart, to my heart.
Yeah. It was
Absolutely.
absolutely.
First sale there with the of course it was the Kitsune head that was part of the first sale, but
that's all. The only thing we sold that first sale was Kitsune heads.
It really was that.
I think they were all painted, weren't they?
I think the first sale was only painted, right?
Yeah, I think all we sold, and it was a fixed number, like we had said, because we had no idea what to expect. We had no precedent for this. So we put up a number of Kitsune heads and tails. They were available in orange, black, or white. and the run that we had allocated for it sold out like super fast. It was, like I said, it was absolutely overwhelming and incredible. And then we came back a short time later and sold the unpainted ones and more painted ones. But I painted a lot of Kitsune heads back 4 years ago.
Yeah, you definitely did.
That was very different time back then, but I remember that so incredible, so fondly. But yeah, that first sale was just painted Kitsune heads.
It was the start of something great between us all. Na, na, na.
Yeah. And we're still here.
Yeah.
Not
High
going
School
anywhere.
Musical?
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen, for noticing.
Is that the Swedish lyric? Because here it's not the start of something great; it's the start of something new.
I know, but yeah.
Oh, you were trying to be fancy. I got
That's
you.
right. It's so good when I try to do something like you experienced and famous people do in their podcast, and I try to do something similar and it fails, but I still try. And maybe it's a language thing, but I'm learning. You know, I have a vocabulary next to my screen here and try to like, what word is that now? Okay, food, yeah, or something. It's I learn, but I actually got to join Wolf King pretty much after the first sale.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun. It was such a coincidence, almost like I talked to, and I remember that, Len, because I sent you photos of some orcs. It was actually a friend, Eddie Salvatore. He convinced me to reach out to you, and I was like, I can't show him these sculpts. I can't reach out, and he was like pushing. Have you reached out yet? No, I'm gonna someday. And he's like, do it now, and I did, and I show you the photos, but I didn't ask. Like, can I work with you or something? I just sent them to you. What do you think about these?
And I was like, Jeremy, what do you think about these?
Well,
I'm like, who's this guy? I don't know who
Emil,
this guy is.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but before you started working with Wolf King, I had purchased one of your heads, not knowing who you were, from Shapeways.
Yep.
Really?
I had when you were selling, I believe, 2 heads on Shapeways under the name Ergo, and I bought the sad vampire head, I believe it was.
Yeah. And that's why when I asked you who he was, you knew who he was.
Yep.
You always called it the sad vampire.
Everyone calls it like the ancient vampire. To me, it's just the sad vampire. He looks so sad.
To me, he's the reason why I got into sculpting, and that I got a King Bromden, and I wanted to do my own Baron Volliger because I just started collecting, and then I was like, okay, I need to sculpt the head for him, and that was the start of something new.
Yep.
You know what's funny is I remember not knowing Emil, but Len, like knowing that that's the guy who did this great big ogre head that is evil and so many teeth and so vicious looking. And then at some point, Len or somebody shared me the big demon head you were working on at that time that ended up being, it's been printed for a troll. But they showed me a 3D render, and I remember Len saying he really likes the dark stuff. So that made me picture Emil as like some bearded dude with like a leather studded wrist bracelet, walking around in some leather pants.
Like Swedish, like Swedish, what is that called? That Swedish like death metal stuff.
Yeah. Like I thought he was sitting in a basement somewhere and he talked like this. And I was like, oh, this guy's freaking nuts. And then I find out he's like the most lovable guy you ever met.
I still like the dark stuff, but
and there's Steven saying to me, I have this like idea. I really would like to see this like Friar Tuck head. Do you think he would do it? I'm like, I don't know, just ask him.
And I was all starstruck when Steven reached out. I was like, what? Hi? But okay, in text, but that's how, because I'd seen Steven on one of Justice Curry's videos, when I started collecting toys, and I got that vibe from him when I saw him. It's like, I think we would be good friends. But then it's like, that's so silly. And then it's like, and now we're good friends. It's like, I mean, yeah. And one thing about you, Len, for being the Wolf King himself, that is very modest. That's something that you keep pushing everyone else to take credit for things, and that's something that you really do.
Mhm.
When it comes to the qualities of the prints, have also been become so better through the years. People who are not into 3D printing, I don't think that they understand that it's a craft that you also can refine. Of course, you get better printers, but you also become better at that craft. I don't want to go into that world. I'd rather keep working with you. One thing that I learned along the way, after a long time when we had been working together, and I sent a file to someone, and I got I heard that, you have to think about this and that about when you do 3D prints, because you can't print them. You have to think about when you sculpt. You have to think in a certain way to make sure that you have what do you call them? Supports
Right.
Oh.
that they can work with the sculpts and everything. And at that moment, I realized, as long as I've been sculpting, I've never ever thought about, is this hard to print? Is this easy to print? Where do they put the supports? I've just been sending the stuff to you. And you just magically, okay, thanks, I'll fix this. Okay, I'll fix this. I'll make this work. And that's you. So really, the Wolf King himself, and I'm so happy for everything that you do.
Well,
Yeah, but
you
it takes a long time. When it's my gripe is when I send him a file, it'll be like a week.
weak. You know what I'll say about Wolf King though in these 4 years is when Wolf King Customs first started, obviously it was a 3D printer. That's what Wolf King Customs was. And I think the fact that you still print and sell 3D parts, that's not the most important thing about Wolf King Customs these days. That's almost like a legacy part of the business. Just like I think Four Horsemen Studios is not only about the toys. People have said all the time, come for the toys, stay for the community. I think Wolf King Customs has embraced not only the Four Horsemen and the Legions community, but it's created a community of its own, where you see the Wolf Den doing the customizing corner on Sundays, when you see all of the custom contests and shows and all the different things that Wolf King Customs sponsors, when you see, to your guys' point, Len constantly taking that spotlight and shining it on other people and giving free stuff and everything. It's become so much more than just a company that sells 3D parts. It really has become a fixture in this community that's trying to lift everybody, customizers, collectors, creators, friends. It's trying to lift everybody up. And we say all the time, fans will say about Four Horsemen Studios that the reason things are so positive is because it starts at the top with the owners of the studio. And I would say that same thing for Wolf King Customs, that the positivity and the good vibes, it starts at the top, and it starts because of Len, who's at the helm of this ship. So
Thanks.
That's what I have to say. That's a lot
Kind
of
words.
that's a
Thank
lot
you.
of words to say. Len, I love you. Thank you very much for all you do.
Thanks, man. I love you too. Just to build on or to comment on what you said, I mean, and again, I guess I'm being me if I'm deflecting, but I mean, I'm only like trying to lead by the example that three other guys set for me. Like, those like Eric, CB, Jim, they're just like tops in the way they do everything and the way they've always done everything and interacted with people. And like, I would just be like, what would Cornboy do? Right? Like that's all you got to do.
What would CB do?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's kind of like what it is. Like, what would CB do? This is what he would do. He would either keep his mouth shut or he would say something like this. But like, like when you have people like that you're like trying to support, it's really easy to be a good person. Does that make sense?
Yes. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well,
Great.
congratulations to Wolf King, Len, everybody, like we said. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thanks
to
everybody.
Snag.
Congratulations to Snag. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back again with more fun. Thanks, Jeremy, for coming and sitting in with us and having some fun.
you.
Love to get you to nerd out a little bit. And Len, speed it up.
Sorry, buddy. I'll try.
Oh, that's awesome. And the stream, it's